Welcome to your strategic preparation for the EDI Senior Architect interview. You're here because you recognize that Education Design International isn't just another architecture firm. They're pioneers who think differently about learning spaces. Over the next 40 minutes, you'll master their unique design philosophy, learn their conceptual process, and gain the insider knowledge that will set you apart from other candidates. This isn't about memorizing facts, it's about thinking like an EDI architect. By the end, you'll speak their language fluently and approach design challenges with their distinctive perspective. Your journey to interview success follows three strategic modules. First, you'll deconstruct EDI's vision for learning spaces, mastering their core philosophy, including the famous four realms of human experience framework that guides all their work. Second, you'll learn their practical concept to classroom workflow, understanding how they transform client requirements into compelling design narratives that win projects. Finally, you'll master visualization techniques using SketchUp and Photoshop to communicate your ideas with the impact EDI expects. Each module builds your confidence and competence, moving from understanding their philosophy to creating and presenting your own EDI-aligned concepts. This isn't just theory, it's your toolkit for interview success. Education Design International, founded by visionary Prakash Nair, challenges the fundamental assumption of what a school should be. While traditional architecture focuses on buildings, EDI designs educational ecosystems, dynamic, interconnected environments that support holistic human development. Think beyond classrooms and corridors. Imagine spaces that adapt to different learning styles, encourage collaboration, connect to nature, and respond to the emotional and physical needs of students. This isn't just progressive thinking. It's evidence-based design rooted in neuroscience, psychology, and educational research. EDI doesn't just house education, they architect transformation. This philosophical shift from static buildings to living ecosystems is the foundation of everything EDI creates. At the heart of EDI's methodology lies David Thornburg's Four Realms of Human Experience, adapted by Prakash Nair into a powerful design framework. The spatial realm addresses the physical environment, furniture, layout, and architectural elements. The psychological realm focuses on emotional well-being, sense of belonging, and mental comfort. The physiological realm considers health factors like natural light, air quality, acoustics, and biophilic design. The behavioral realm examines how spaces influence actions, encouraging collaboration, creativity, and positive social interactions. These aren't separate considerations, they're interconnected dimensions that must work together. Every EDI design decision asks, how does this serve all four realms? This framework transforms abstract concepts like student-centered learning into concrete, measurable design strategies that create environments where the whole person can thrive. Let's see the four realms in action. Spatial realm. EDI uses flexible mobile furniture that students can reconfigure, transforming a space from lecture format to collaborative groups in minutes. Psychological realm. They create student agency through choice, multiple seating options, quiet nooks, and social areas that let learners control their environment and feel ownership. Physiological realm, abundant natural light, living walls with plants, and acoustic design that reduces stress while maintaining energy. Materials and colors connect to nature, supporting both concentration and well-being. Behavioral realm, open sightlines encourage collaboration, while varied ceiling heights and spatial zones naturally guide different activities. Focused work happens in cozy alcoves, while dynamic discussions flourish in open areas. Notice how each element serves multiple realms simultaneously, creating synergistic effects that amplify the learning environment's impact. To demonstrate deep understanding of EDI's work in your interview, you need a systematic approach to portfolio analysis. Use this four-step framework. First, identify the stated goal. What educational challenge was the project trying to solve? Second, map specific features to the four realms. Which design elements serve spatial, psychological, physiological, or behavioral needs? Third, Identify recurring design patterns. EDI's signature moves like transparency, connection to outdoors, flexible boundaries, or community integration. Fourth, articulate the why. Connect the design choices back to the core philosophy of creating educational ecosystems. This analytical framework shows interviewers you don't just appreciate EDI's work aesthetically, you understand the strategic thinking and evidence based methodology that drives every design decision. It's the difference between admiration and expertise. Let's apply our framework to Concordia International School, one of EDI's sustainability focused projects. Step 1. The stated goal was creating a project based learning environment that integrates environmental consciousness with collaborative education. Step 2. Mapping to the four realms: spatial, flexible learning studios with movable walls; psychological, student choice in learning environments and connection to nature; physiological, abundant daylight, natural ventilation, and living systems; behavioral, open collaboration zones, and outdoor learning spaces that encourage environmental stewardship. Step 3. Design patterns, transparency between spaces, seamless indoor-outdoor flow, and sustainable materials as teaching tools. Step 4. The why. Every element reinforces the educational ecosystem concept, where the building itself becomes a learning laboratory for sustainability, demonstrating EDI's belief that physical environments actively shape learning experiences and values. Now it's your turn to apply the framework. I'm showing you images from Safa Community School in Dubai, another flagship EDI project. Pause for a moment and identify, what educational challenge do you think this project addressed? Which design features serve each of the four realms? What EDI patterns can you spot? Transparency, flexibility, nature integration. How does this project embody the educational ecosystem philosophy? Take 30 seconds to mentally walk through the four-step analysis. This active practice builds the analytical confidence you'll need when discussing EDI's portfolio in your interview. Excellent work mastering EDI's philosophy and analytical framework. You can now deconstruct their existing work like an insider. But here's what will truly set you apart in the interview, demonstrating that you can think and create like an EDI architect. Module 2 shifts from analysis to application. You'll learn EDI's structured process for developing design concepts, from initial client engagement through compelling narrative development. This is the practical methodology that drives their award-winning projects and the creative process you'll be expected to understand and apply as a senior architect. EDI's design process begins long before sketching or modeling. Their methodology starts with collaborative visioning sessions that bring together all stakeholders: educators, administrators, students, and community members. This isn't just collecting requirements, it's co-creating the educational vision that will guide every design decision. Unlike traditional architectural practices that work from static briefs, EDI facilitates dynamic conversations about learning goals, community values, and future aspirations. They conduct research into pedagogical approaches, analyze existing workflows, and understand the unique culture of each institution. This upfront investment in visioning and master planning ensures that the resulting design isn't just architecturally sound, it's educationally transformative. The building becomes a physical manifestation of the community's shared vision for learning. The key to EDI's approach is learning to read between the lines of client briefs. When a client says, "We need a library," EDI asks, "Why?" They dig deeper. What kind of learning experiences do you want to enable? How do students currently research and collaborate? What are your space utilization patterns? This archaeological approach to brief analysis reveals the core pedagogical need beneath the surface request. "We need a library" might actually mean we need flexible spaces that support both collaborative research and quiet individual study, with technology integration and opportunities for informal learning. EDI architects become educational translators, converting institutional language into learning-centered design challenges. This skill extracting the true educational intent from conventional building requests is what transforms architects into educational environment specialists who can propose solutions the client didn't even know they needed. Once you've extracted the core educational need, EDI architects synthesize insights into a powerful design narrative, a compelling story that explains the why behind every design decision. This isn't marketing language, it's the conceptual DNA that guides the entire project. A strong design narrative has three essential elements: the core idea, expressed as a memorable metaphor like a garden of learning or the innovation workshop; the user journey, describing how students, teachers, and community members will experience and move through the space; the connection to philosophy, explicitly linking design choices back to the four realms and educational ecosystem principles. This narrative becomes the project's North Star, ensuring every detail from furniture selection to lighting design serves the larger educational vision. It's what transforms a collection of rooms into a coherent learning environment with intention and impact. Let's walk through the process with a mock brief. Design a new middle school innovation hub for hands-on STEM learning. First, deconstruction. The core need isn't just a maker space. It's fostering interdisciplinary problem solving, creativity, and real-world application skills. Students need spaces that feel more like professional workshops than traditional classrooms. Now, building the narrative, core idea, the workshop of ideas, a space where curiosity meets craftsmanship. User journey. Students enter through a gallery showcasing peer projects, move into flexible making zones with both digital and analog tools, collaborate in presentation areas, and connect to outdoor testing spaces. Connection to philosophy, spatial realm through reconfigurable workstations, psychological realm via ownership and pride in creation, physiological realm with natural light and ventilation, behavioral realm encouraging collaboration and iteration. This narrative transforms a simple brief into a compelling vision that guides every design decision. Now it's your turn to be the storyteller. Here's your brief. Design a new kindergarten outdoor play area that supports both physical development and nature-based learning. Pause and apply what you've learned. First, deconstruct. What's the core educational need beyond just playground equipment? Consider the four realms. How might outdoor play serve spatial, psychological, physiological, and behavioral development? Now, craft a one-sentence design narrative that captures your concept. Think metaphorically, the learning garden, nature's classroom, or something uniquely yours. Take 30 seconds to develop your narrative. This practice builds the conceptual thinking skills that will set you apart in your EDI interview. Outstanding work developing your narrative creation skills. You now have the conceptual toolkit to think and create like an EDI architect. But here's the final piece that will make you irresistible to EDI: the ability to visually communicate your ideas with impact. Great design narratives need compelling visual support to come alive in presentations and interviews. Module 3 focuses on rapid, strategic visualization techniques that communicate educational intent, not technical perfection. You'll learn to create mood boards that sell the feeling and narrative sketches that tell the story. This is about communication, not rendering. A mood board isn't just a pretty collage, it's a strategic visual summary of your design narrative that communicates the intended feeling and experience. Think of it as the emotional blueprint for your project. Effective mood boards for educational environments include four key elements: color palette that reflects the energy and focus you want to create, textures and materials that students will actually touch and experience, spatial qualities that convey the scale and atmosphere, and images that evoke the desired emotional response. Playful, focused, inspiring, or collaborative. The goal is to help stakeholders feel what the space will be like, not just see what it will look like. A well-crafted mood board becomes a communication tool that aligns everyone around the experiential vision before you ever start designing specific spaces. Let's examine the mood board for our workshop of Ideas Innovation Hub. The color palette combines warm wood tones with bright accent colors, orange and electric blue, that energize without overwhelming. Textures include raw wood grain, exposed metal framework, and soft fabric acoustic panels that balance industrial authenticity with comfort. Spatial qualities are captured through images of high ceilings with varied zones, abundant natural light, and transparent boundaries that maintain connection while defining activity areas. The emotional imagery shows diverse students actively engaged, hands building, eyes focused, faces lit with discovery. Notice how every element reinforces the narrative. This is a place where curiosity meets craftsmanship, where learning feels like professional making. The mood board doesn't show the final design, it communicates the experience that will guide every design decision from furniture to lighting. From mood boards, you move to narrative sketching, rapid visualization that brings your design story to life. The key principle: communicate the user experience, not create perfect renderings. Start with simple SketchUp models that capture basic spatial relationships and circulation patterns. These don't need detailed materials or complex geometry. Focus on proportion, scale, and the flow of movement through space. Then enhance these models in Photoshop by adding people engaged in learning activities, textures that reflect your mood board, and annotations that explain the educational intent. Add atmospheric elements like natural light streaming through windows, students collaborating in flexible seating, or teachers facilitating in open learning zones. The goal is storytelling. Help viewers understand how the space will feel and function for learning. Speed and communication trump technical perfection every time. Here's the transformation in action. The before shows a basic SketchUp model of our workshop of ideas. Simple white geometry showing the spatial layout, ceiling heights, and circulation flow. Clean but lifeless. The after shows the same view enhanced in Photoshop. Warm wood textures on work surfaces. Students actively engage with both digital fabrication tools and traditional hand tools, natural light streaming through clerestory windows, and colorful project displays that showcase student work. Annotations highlight key features. Flexible workstations adapt from individual to team projects. Gallery wall celebrates student innovation. Transparent boundaries maintain supervision while encouraging independence. The transformation takes the same spatial information and makes it emotionally compelling and educationally clear. This is the level of visual communication that wins projects and impresses interview panels. Not because it's technically perfect, but because it tells a convincing story about learning. Time to plan your own visual storytelling. Remember the kindergarten outdoor play area narrative you developed in Module 2? Now consider how you would visualize that concept. Pause and identify 3 key elements you would show in a narrative sketch to communicate your idea effectively. What activities would you show children engaged in? What natural elements would reinforce your connection to learning? What spatial qualities would you emphasize? Scale, enclosure, pathways. Think about the story you want to tell about outdoor learning and play. This planning exercise prepares you to create compelling visuals that support your design narratives in interviews and presentations. Congratulations! You've completed your transformation from general architect to EDI ready candidate. You now possess 3 critical competencies that will set you apart. First, you can deconstruct and analyze EDI's philosophy and portfolio like an insider, understanding the 4 realms framework and recognizing their design patterns. Second, you can think and create like an EDI architect, using their collaborative process to extract pedagogical needs and develop compelling design narratives. Third, you can communicate your ideas with visual impact through strategic mood boards and narrative sketching. This isn't just knowledge, it's a complete toolkit for demonstrating that you understand, embrace, and can contribute to EDI's mission of creating educational ecosystems that transform learning. Here's your EDI interview cheat sheet, the absolute essentials that will demonstrate your readiness. First, always talk about educational ecosystems and the 4 realms of human experience. This language immediately signals that you understand their philosophy at a deep level. Second, when analyzing any project, link specific features back to the 4 realms framework, showing you can think systematically about educational design. Third, frame your own concepts as design narratives with clear core ideas, user journeys, and philosophical connections. Fourth, Remember that EDI values showing over telling your ability to visualize and communicate ideas matters as much as the ideas themselves. These four principles will guide every conversation, from portfolio discussions to design challenges. Master these, and you'll speak EDI's language fluently. Now comes the crucial step, connecting your 6+ years of architectural experience to EDI's vision. Take a moment to reflect on your project portfolio and find examples where you've unknowingly touched on the four realms. Think of a project where you improved user well-being through natural light or biophilic design. That's the physiological realm. Remember a space where you enhanced collaboration through open layouts or flexible furniture. That's the behavioral realm. Consider designs where you created emotional comfort through scale, materials, or views. That's the psychological realm. Recall projects where you innovated with spatial organization or circulation. That's the spatial realm. These connections aren't forced. They're authentic bridges between your proven experience and EDI's methodology. Your challenge is articulating these connections using EDI's language and framework, demonstrating that you're not just learning their approach, you're already aligned with their values. You are ready. You now speak EDI's language, understand their methodology, and can connect your experience to their vision. But knowledge without practice is just potential. Here's your final assignment to seal your preparation. First, visit EDI's website and analyze 2 more projects using the 4-step framework you've learned. This will deepen your pattern recognition and build confidence. Second, take one project from your own portfolio and practice articulating it as a design narrative that connects to the 4 realms. Practice out loud, timing yourself until you can tell that story compellingly in under 3 minutes. This active preparation transforms your new knowledge into interview-ready confidence. You've got the tools, you've got the framework, and you've got the vision. Now go ace that interview.